Argento, Fulci, Bava. These are just some of the greats of Italian horror cinema. So let's take a look at my personal top 5 Giallo films. Big thanks to my Patreon supporters for voting on making this the top 5 video for November. Now, let's get into the list. Kicking off the list at number 5 is Mario Bava's A Bay of Blood. Released in 1971, A Bay of Blood, also known as Carnage, Twitch of the Death Nerve, and Bloodbath, a wealthy countess is murdered but is deemed a suicide. This sets off a series of brutal killings as several characters attempt to take over her large estate. A Bay of Blood is widely considered Bava's most influential film, and for good reason. A Bay of Blood helped to give birth to the slasher genre. There's even 2 kills in Friday the 13th Part 2 that are very similar to Bava's film. The machete to the face kill and the double impaled lovers. Full of style, realistic practical effects for its time, and a healthy body count, Mario Bava's A Bay of Blood is a great starting point for anyone looking to get into Giallo. Sliding in at number 4 is What Have You Done to Solange? Released in 1972 and directed by Massimo Dallamano, the plot follows a college professor who's having an affair with one of his students. While on a boat hooking up with the student, the girl sees a man stabbing another woman. Soon afterwards, other murders begin happening, and the professor and his wife are right in the middle. Like another film later on this list, religion and the Catholic Church are a key component of the story. The murders, although not nearly as graphic as others on this list, definitely made me squirm at the mere thought of it. The story is genuinely engrossing and one of the best in the Giallo genre. At number 3 is Lucio Fulci's Don't Torture a Duckling. Released in 1972, the story follows a journalist and a socialite in a remote Italian town. A series of child murders occur, and the two team up to find the killer. However, the town is not only rife with superstition, but they also have a deep distrust of outsiders. Just like with the previous film on this list, Don't Torture a Duckling has a lot to do with religion and the Catholic Church, especially repressed sexuality and perceived guilt that comes with it. This is personally my favorite Fulci film, as I feel it's one of the more realistic and complex of his films. It also doesn't hurt that the signature Fulci gore, although not at the level of his later films, is still very much a part of Don't Torture a Duckling. Taking the number 2 spot is Sergio Martino's Torso. Released in 1973, a series of grisly murders rock a university as a sadistic killer brutally strangles college girls with a red and black scarf. Torso is definitely the sleaziest and most slasher-esque film on this list. There's a very voyeuristic and uncomfortable vibe this film gives me, especially once the killer is on screen and taking out one of his victims. Torso also has an incredibly tense final act that for 1973 was most definitely pushing some boundaries. And finally, taking the top spot is Dario Argento's masterpiece, Deep Red. Released in 1975, a jazz pianist is a witness to a brutal murder. Soon he and a sassy journalist are plunged into a complex mystery. In my opinion, Deep Red is the Giallo to end all Giallos. For a while, Torso was my favorite. However, after a couple of rewatches, Deep Red has not only become my favorite Giallo, but also my favorite Argento film. The chemistry between David Hemmings and Daria Nicolodi is magnetic, as well as both being charming and charismatic. The mystery is also a ton of fun, and the kills are creative and have that Argento flair to them. Plus, the score by Goblin fucking rocks. If you can only watch one Giallo from this list, it's gotta be Deep Red. Thank you again to my awesome Patreon supporters for choosing this month's top 5 video. If you'd like to vote on my next videos, get your name in the opening credits, and even requesting movies for me to review, become a Patreon today. Link is down in the description below. And while you're at it, be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for coming by, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
That was an absolute elbow off the table. That is a total and absolute cheat.
You are a big, strong male. I give up. So what do you say we go now?